Howdy, brothers and sisters. Let's take a look back at part 25 and see how that ended up.
There was a garden in that place, and Jesus and his disciples went in. Judas, the traitor, knew where it was, because many times Jesus had met there with his disciples. So Judas went to the garden, taking with him a group of Roman soldiers and some temple guards sent by the chief priests and the Pharisees. They were armed and carried lanterns and torches. Jesus knew everything that was going to happen to him, so he stepped forward and asked them,
"Who is it you are looking for?"
Jesus of Nazareth.
Judas the traitor was standing there with them when Jesus said to them,
"I am he."
They moved back and fell to the ground. Again, Jesus asked them,
"Who is it you are looking for?"
Jesus of Nazareth.
I have already told you that I am he. If then you are looking for me, let these others go.
He said this so that what he had said might come true. "Father, I have not lost even one of those you gave me." Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's slave, cutting off his right ear. The name of the slave was Malchus.
Put your sword back in its place.
Do you think that I will not drink the cup of suffering which my father has given me?
Then the Roman soldiers, with their commanding officer and the Jewish guards, arrested Jesus, tied him up, and took him first to Annas. He was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had advised the Jewish authorities that it was better that one man should die for all the people. That other disciple was well known to the high priest, so he went with Jesus into the courtyard of the high priest's house, while Peter stayed outside by the gate. The high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. Jesus answered,
I have always spoken publicly to everyone. All my teaching was done in the synagogues and in the temple where all the people come together. I have never said anything in secret. Why then do you question me? Question the people who heard me. Ask them what I told them. They know what I said. How dare you talk like that to the high priest? If I have said anything wrong, tell everyone here what it was. But if I am right in what I have said, why do you hit me?
Then Annas sent him, still tied up, to Caiaphas, the high priest.
So the Pharisees was able to wrangle up a temple guard and a bunch of Roman guards, arm them to the teeth, and go capture Jesus. But Saul knew not who he was. Oh yeah, Saul ran with Judas Iscariot. Remember, he was the house of Iscariot. Yeah. Don't tell me Saul didn't know who Jesus was. Saul knew who Judas was. You know, it's obvious. Saul got treated just like Jesus got treated, Isaiah 14:14 perhaps. It's all right there, as if you want to see it. God bless. Let's see what happened on that.
Early in the morning, Jesus was taken from Caiaphas' house to the governor's palace. The Jewish authorities did not go inside the palace, for they wanted to keep themselves ritually clean in order to be able to eat the Passover meal. So Pilate went outside to them and asked,
What do you accuse this man of?
We would not have brought him to you if he had not committed a crime.
Then you yourselves take him and try him according to your own law.
We are not allowed to put anyone to death.
This happened in order to make come true what Jesus had said when he indicated the kind of death he would die.
They've been up all night, going back and forth, Caiaphas, Ananias, all these other Pharisees. Saul is still not on the scene. When did he show up? When is the first time Saul showed up for his Pharisee duty? When he went to approve of Stephen? Is that the first time? Where was he before then? Trying to kill Jesus. And you notice they didn't have a crime. What do you accuse this man of? We wouldn't have brought this man to you if you didn't accuse him. That ain't what he asked. He asked, what do you accuse this man of? And the Pharisee lied. We're not allowed to kill nobody. They've been trying to stone him to death for 3.5 years. And it's in their law they can stone women to death. They can stone men to death, apparently. So that's a lie. That was a lie. Pharisees knew who he was. Saul knew exactly who he was. That's why he tried to imitate him. Isaiah 14:14.
Pilate went back into the palace and called Jesus.
Are you the king of the Jews?
Does this question come from you? Or have others told you about me?
Do you think I'm a Jew? It was your own people and the chief priests who handed you over to me. What have you done?
Absolutely nothing. Except threaten the Pharisees' way of life. The glory they get, the honor they get from the people. The free meat from the sacrifices they force upon the people. I mean, and the chief priest turned him in. Saul of Tarsus is a chief priest. He is a Pharisee. He is a proud young Pharisee making a name for himself in the Pharisee ranks. Don't you sit there and tell me he did not know Jesus up until the desert where Jesus said he wouldn't be.
My kingdom does not belong to this world. If my kingdom belonged to this world, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish authorities. No. My kingdom does not belong here.
Are you a king, then?
You say that I am a king. I was born and came into the world for this one purpose: to speak about the truth. Whoever belongs to the truth listens to me.
And what is truth?
He came into the world to speak the truth. And people hate him. He's fixing to be killed by the Romans, by his own people, turned in by his own people. They hate the truth. So if God sent Jesus, himself in the flesh, to speak of the truth, what's the need of Saul of Tarsus? We heard in the last, his work is finished, his Father has given him to do. No, well wait, there's more. We got Billy Mays coming on the scene. Come on, brothers and sisters.
Then Pilate went back outside to the people and said to them,
I cannot find any reason to condemn him, but According to the custom you have, I always set free a prisoner for you during the Passover. Do you want me to set free for you the King of the Jews?
They answered him with a shout. Barabbas was a bandit.
Pilate couldn't find a thing to condemn Jesus for. He was going to set him free. It was the Pharisees that antagonized the people, and the people's hate of the truth to call for Barabbas to be released. They chose Barabbas over the truth. Now the Pharisees were saying, oh, they'll destroy our whole nation if he gets popular. Well, no. The ones that they said was going to destroy their nation over Jesus, I have no reason to condemn this man. I'm going to set him lead. No. Kill him. Give us the crook. A murderer. A raging murderer. That's who they chose. Saul was a raging murderer. Huh. Imagine that. Oh, Saul was a Pharisee too. Hope you knew that.
Then Pilate took Jesus and had him whipped. The soldiers made a crown out of thorny branches and put it on his head. Then they put a purple robe on him and came to him and said, "Long live the King of the Jews." And they went up and slapped him. Pilate went back out once more and said to the crowd,
Look, I will bring him out here to you to let you see that I cannot find any reason to condemn him. Look, here is the man.
So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe.
Crucify him!
Crucify him!
You take him then and crucify him. I find no reason to condemn him.
We have a law that says he ought to die because he claimed to be the Son of God.
I mean, the vicious pagan Caesar, Pilate, starting to feel bad. Man, I've done beat the tar out of this fella, man. I got no reason to condemn him. But no, that ain't good enough for the Pharisees, Saul, and the people that hate the truth. He brought them out and showed them he done beat the tar out of them. And when they mentioned he claimed he's the Son of God, Pilate started believing. It's a shame. The vicious, murderous governor, Pontius Pilate, started believing. But the Pharisees wanted Jesus dead. Well, they was going to, apparently it's in their law, they can stone people to death. They can kill people. See, the Romans didn't want to kill Jesus because the Romans was believing. But the Pharisees, what? It was because they was losing their way of life.
When Pilate heard this, he was even more afraid. He went back into the palace and asked Jesus,
Where do you come from?
But Jesus did not answer.
You will not speak to me. Remember, I have the authority to set you free, and also to have you crucified.
You have authority over me. Only because it was given to you by God. So the man who handed me over to you is guilty of a worse sin.
When Pilate heard this, he tried to find a way to set Jesus free.
If you set him free, that means you are not the Emperor's friend.
Anyone who claims to be a king is a rebel against the Emperor.
When Pilate heard these words, he took Jesus outside and sat down on the judge's seat in the place called the Stone Pavement. In Hebrew, the name is Gabbatha. It was then almost noon of the day before the Passover. Pilate said to the people,
Here is your king.
Kill him.
Do you want me to crucify your king?
The only king we have is the Emperor.
Then Pilate handed Jesus over to them to be crucified.
Pilate starting to believe. He believed. Jesus didn't beg for mercy. He didn't whimper. He didn't cry. He didn't defend himself. He said, yeah, you got authority over me because God gave it to you. That means the man that handed me over to you is guilty of a worse sin. Pilate was scared. That's why we hear in Matthew, he washed his hands and said, no, this is on you people. Pilate was trying to look for a way to set Jesus free because he was found innocent. But who kept pushing the buck? Kill him, kill him. Who was the first one to speak in Pilate's ear? Saul of Tarsus. You don't know if that's Saul. That's Saul of Tarsus. If you'd been paying attention to any of these, you'd know it's Saul of Tarsus too. Or you'll know it and you'll deny it still. The Pharisees demanded Jesus die. Saul of Tarsus was a chief Pharisee, young up-and-coming Pharisee, chief, one of the big dogs. Demanded Jesus die. Says there is no king but Caesar. They chose their king. It's like you chose Barabbas. It's like you chose Saul of Tarsus. Brothers and sisters, please take God's warnings and heed them. He's gave them. It's up to you to decide. Love you. God bless.